What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here on a lovely Monday. How was your first weekend being Levy-free?
Beautiful. The sun was shining. It was like a breath of fresh air, the air of freedom. It was lovely. It was fantastic. It was just a weird weekend. But it was also weird, like, we've got this, like, great news. Everyone's excited, but it's like international break. We have to, like, wait for Spurs to come back. And it's not like Spurs are just going to be great now because Levy's gone. We're going to win every week. Well, it's like... We're all excited and happy, but it's like nothing's really going to change in the short term. So It's hard to be like...
It's all about the long term.
Yeah, the long term, which is what Levy was all about, the long term.
He was all about the long term, but now he's forced us to be kind of just excited for the long term.
Exactly. Is that a lesson you've learned from Levy? Be excited for that.
It's always next season. Always next season. But this time it really is always next season. But look, there's a lot to get through today regarding the ownership, the Tottenham update. We're going to look back at how Spurs players have done over the international breaks so far as well. But let's start off with a Tottenham update. And we're going to start off talking about old Harry Kane, as Raphael Honigstein, a German journalist, says that Bayern Munich expect former Tottenham striker Harry Kane to leave before the end of his contract in 2027, which I think is quite big news. I think a lot of people have been talking about it over the weekend across social media. He's always wanted to come back to England to break Alan Shearer's record. I think that's definitely something he's got his eyes set on. Do you think there is a possibility that Harry Kane could return to Tottenham this summer?
You know what? The funny thing is, if Levy was here, I'll probably say no. But seeing as he's not, and he's now gone, and maybe we're going to be operating in a different way. Look, the reality is, so let's say he's going to be, they're saying he's going to leave before his contract up. So let's say that's next summer when he's got a year left. Reportedly, we've got a 55 million release clause.
Oh, is that right?
That's the report, isn't it?
So I thought
or first refusal or something.
Refusal, yeah.
But I heard something about a release clause, 55 million.
See, I haven't heard anything about a release clause. I've only heard about first refusal. So if anyone makes a bid, we're able to match that.
I've heard I heard that was the case for the first 2 years, but then there's a release clause beyond that. Okay. And then it was like, I think this summer I can't remember what it was. I think one summer it was like 100 no, it was like 7. I don't know. I read next summer we have potentially a 55 million release clause. Let's say that's true, 55 million. He'll be 33 next summer. For me, I think Harry Kane is a striker who's going to be playing well into his late 30s, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I think he's going to be like Ronaldo. Like I think he takes very good care of himself. He's still obviously banging the goals right now. I think for Bayern Munich, it's 119 goal contributions in 100 games. Ridiculous numbers. Obviously, it is the Bundesliga. So I think, yes, he does. He will come in and obviously command high wages, and 55 million is a significant outlay. But for me, you're still going to have a striker for at least 2-3 years who's going to be able to get you at least 15 to 20 goals, if not more, I would say, over that period. So I would love it. I think Kane would be desperate to come back to the Premier League because of that record you talk about. I think, he would gone to Bayern. How many leagues he won? One or two?
He's won one so far.
One title, so maybe he'll win another one this season. 2 titles. He'll got that monkey off his back. He's got that trophy hoodoo over. And you're looking at clubs who are probably going to spend that money. Obviously, United have just got Sesko. City of Haaland. Arsenal have their strike. He's not going to go to Arsenal. Chelsea. Maybe Chelsea if Pedro or Delap's not working out, but I don't think he's going to go to Chelsea. Liverpool have Ekitike and Isaac. So basically, it's Tottenham, really, isn't it? Let's be honest. They all have young strikers.
Yeah, Tottenham and Manchester United.
But then again, we have Richarlison, Solanke, Moani. Obviously, Moani's on loan. Solanke, we'll see about him. He's injured at the moment, hasn't quite cut it goals-wise, and Richarlison's injury-prone. So there is an opening potentially at Tottenham. We'll have to see how this year goes. But if you're going to bank on there being an opening anywhere, I think Tottenham's the place right now.
Yeah, I think regardless of an opening or not, if Harry Kane's on the market, I don't even think it matters if there's an opening at Tottenham. You get him through the door and you work it out because he's such a quality player. And I think above everything that you've just mentioned, I think he's got unfinished business to do here at Tottenham. I think he would have looked back at that Europa League last year and I reckon he's thinking to himself, well, man, I wish I was part of that team. I wish I won a trophy with Tottenham Hotspur. And I think there's a real opportunity to do so if he is to come back. And I think the squad's building in a good way. Harry Kane to come back will add that star quality at number 9, which we let's be honest, we've been desperate for since he has left. And you know what? I've been thinking about this about Harry Kane. When new owners come in, I know we don't have a new ownership, but it's in a different format, and they want to make a statement. When ENIC first came in, they tried to make that statement. They sacked George Graham, the first thing that they did, and they hired Glenn Hoddle as a move to try and get the fans on board. And I feel like they're going to need to make another kind of statement to try and get those fans on board. We've heard, which we'll get into in a bit later, that the club is not up for sale. Whether we believe that or not, it is a different story. But let's say we take that on face value and the club is not up for sale. I think in a post-Levy kind of era now, they need to make a statement to prove to the fans that they're going to do what they're going to say. They're going to say what they're going to do and everything like that. And I believe a statement would be bringing Harry Kane back to the club. That is a massive statement for the fans.
Yeah, I don't think at all Levy would sanction a £50 million move for a 33-year-old, regardless who it is. I don't think he would ever do that. So if Levy was still here, I would say little to no chance, unless it's a Bale-style deal where it's on loan or something. I don't think he would sanction a big sale.
Anyone's paying £55 million for Harry Kane in 1 year?
To be honest, we might negotiate that down. But then again, I don't know what our negotiating style is going to be like without Daniel Levy. So whether we'll be successful in doing that or not, or move on, maybe we try and get that figure lower. Obviously, it all depends as well how he does over this year and how he does over the World Cup. Because if he has, let's say he does really well for Bayern, but has a very poor World Cup and looking a bit leggy, will there be question marks? Will there be reservations about, where he is in his career and whether it's worth spending the money? But if he has a great World Cup and England do really well, I think a lot of people, Spurs will think, okay, this guy's still playing at the top of his game. I think Kane still, for me, the best striker in the world right now.
He started the season on fire.
Started the season on fire. He's still at the top of his game. No signs really at the moment of slowing down. But as I think it was Aaron who said it, and we've seen it with many players, the end kind of happens very quickly. One moment you're on top of the world, and the next moment is you're struggling. And it's little differences that can make the difference. So it's very hard for players at that, when you're signing players at that age, to know exactly when they're going to start declining or seriously declining, because at that age it can happen very quickly. Obviously, you've still got players like Salah, who's at the similar age at the top of his game. You've got players at that age. Lewandowski, he's 36? He's still banging them in regularly. So even Benzema, he won the Ballon d'Or at a similar age.
Jamie Vardy scored 9 Premier League goals last year at the age of 37, 38. And if Vardy can do that with his diet of Red Bulls up until 37, 38, I have no doubt in my mind Harry Kane can get double that consistently.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying you've got to have reservations about it, but he takes care of himself, Harry Kane, and he clearly physically is in a good way. I would love to get him back at the club next summer, and I think we're the natural place for him. I think if he wants to break the record, break it at Tottenham. I think it'll be a great homecoming. I think it's one to watch, to be honest. I think it's one to watch.
Yeah, but like I said, I really can see that if they want to make that kind of statement, Harry Kane is that statement.
Do you think if we're not in Champions League, does it affect anything?
Potentially. It depends who's in Champions League and who's making the offers to bring him through the door. Like you mentioned, I think Liverpool's off the table. I don't think Arsenal will ever be on the table. Chelsea, I don't think they'll be on at the table for him. So it might not matter.
Newcastle, unless there's one, but I mean, if it's between us and Newcastle, you'd like to think he'd choose us, but
yeah, I think he would choose us off of Newcastle. I think out of the top 6, I think we're the most viable option, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And we're the ones who he's got history with. We're the ones where he's got unfinished business with. So I think if Harry Kane is going to come back to the Premier League, I think it will be for us.
And I think if he comes back next summer, I think he's got a good chance of breaking that record. Because how many goals is he behind? 40 something?
Yeah, I think between 40 and 50.
Because the record is 260. I think he's on like 211.
He's on 213.
213, okay, not bad. 213, so that's 47 goals away. That's what
I think he needs.
Probably
two and a
three,
half seasons,
2.5 seasons, three for sure. That takes him to 36. I think he can do it.
Yeah,
I think he can do it.
Look, like I said before, if they want to make a big statement to bring the fans on board, you get Harry Kane back next summer. January? Is there a possibility in January?
Not if Bayern are fighting for Champions League and stuff. I doubt he'll want to leave mid-season. But I think in a year's time, Maybe it won't be 50 million. Maybe they'll be maybe because he's going to be a big cost on them, isn't he, Harry Kane? So maybe they'll be willing to do a deal for lower. Well, maybe not. Maybe they'll demand it. If he has another amazing year, they might be thinking, look, even we're not going to give him a new contract, but maybe we'll have another year of him and he can go on a free. You never know. But I think I'd pay it. Yeah, depending on obviously how he does this year.
Yeah, I would as well. So moving on from Harry Kane, we're going to talk about Savinho again, as Matt Law says that Tottenham are not ruling out a fresh bid for Savinho in January. Thomas Frank would also be keen to sign a central defender in January as well, and obviously both these would be very welcoming to Tottenham in January. But in terms of Savinho, it's going to be hard talking about Spurs transfers now because we're so accustomed to the way Daniel Levy dealt with things over the last 25 years.
Never going to happen.
We just don't know how Spurs are going to approach transfers now.
But at the end of the day, if Savinho's playing regularly for City, it doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah.
So, as much as we're saying now we're not going to rule out a bid, all this kind of stuff, it's not really in Tottenham's hands. Savinho could be smashing it for City at the time. Then there's no real reason for them to sell and for him to come. Obviously, if he's not playing, come January and he's not getting much game time, then we'll revisit it. But I think it's just no point talking about it now because we don't know. It's like the season's just started. There's so much football to be played between now and January, and as a guy in the comments there who's at Meme Football saying Cherky's injured as well, so there's more opportunity for him to play. Yeah, it's a bit of a pointless conversation, but I would love it to happen.
Yeah, so would I. But again, the summer window just closed, so it's kind of pointless to talk about it at this moment in time. Moving on, we're going to got some quotes from Decky and from Mathis Tell. We'll start off with Decky, and he's talking about his rehabilitation from injury. And he says, the status is good, the rehab is going well. Every day I wake up with the same hunger and even more hunger with each passing day. The status is very good, and I'll be on the football pitch in a very, very near future. If everything goes well, as it should, and it has done so far, I'm very confident that I'll be back on the pitch in 2 to 3 months. So he says very, very near future, and then says 2 to 3 months.
So I was reading it. Does he mean he's going to be back on the grass in the near future, but then only playing in 3 months? Or
that's exactly what he means.
Or is it in the context of his injury? Is 3 months in the very near future when it could have been worse? Who knows?
I think he says he'll be back in training in very near future and then back on the pitch in a few months,
which is the timeline everyone really expected. Obviously, last season, he was talking about potentially being back for the September international break, but that always seemed optimistic, didn't it? So 3 months is what, December time? That's what people have. That's the timeline.
That's in November. So I mean, if he is back in November, he's not in the Champions League squad. He could have been put into it.
Well. What, for a few games? I think it probably makes sense to leave him out.
It's not a few games. Got November games, December games, and January games.
That's true, but
it's the whole of the second half of the.
Yeah, but you want to ease him back into things.
True.
You don't want him playing more than 2 games a week, probably at that point. And look, maybe you're right, but depends what kind of form he's in or what kind of conditions he's in. I think it's probably the right thing to leave him out at the moment. I doubt he'll be back fully in November. Probably on the bench kind of thing. Look, we'll see. But 3 months. It's unfortunate for him. That's the timeline kind of Frank gave as well, and we've been hearing. So, as we say, I think we're probably not going to be seeing Decky at his fullest. I mean, might not even be this season, but at the very least, probably second half of the season after January
to win the title. Yeah,
then our title charge exactly. But look, if once we get Decky back, what options we have. It's incredible. And then once you add Maddison into that.
Yeah.
It's mad to think in a year's time, hopefully, we're going to have some serious options.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's always next year.
I know.
It's always next year.
Yeah, but usually it's we've signed someone and put them on loan for a year or something, or we've been told next year we're going to sign. We literally have these players in our squad, but they're just injured for a while, so it's just unfortunate. But
yeah, but it's positive that the end is in sight for Decky, and I can't wait to see him back on the pitch.
Did you see the picture he put up on Instagram?
Oh my God.
Oh,
why do you have to remind me of that? Why is he doing that? What is he doing?
If you're watching, do not go on Decky's Instagram. Just don't bother.
No, but seriously, what is he playing at?
I don't know. I think everyone went onto it and just horrified by what he's posting. Just put that away. Oh, it's terrible. Terrible. Do not look at it. Whatever you do, you'll regret it. I know people are listening, then they're going to go, you regret it. You're going to regret looking at it.
If you're squeamish, just don't do it.
Oh.
Let's move on and let's talk about these Mathis Tell quotes, because obviously he's been left out the Champions League squad and he's reacted to that and given us some quotes in an interview. And he says it's clear that when you're not in the squad, it definitely hurts. But I'm someone who stays pretty positive no matter the situation, because I think I've worked a lot on my mental side. So today, it's definitely a disappointment. I would like to have been there, but the coach's choice is the coach's choice. We can only respect it, and we'll work to come back in the best possible way. And he's talking about his form as well. And it says it doesn't matter, even if I were on the list, it would have been the desire to seek revenge, to be effective this season, to be able to kickstart my season in the Premier League, because this is the beginning of a long first season. Since last year, it was on a 6-month loan, a desire to go elsewhere. I'm under contract with Tottenham, so I'm a Tottenham player, but I'm going to be the best. I am going to do my best to simply play. And that's the kind of mentality you need as a player that's just been left out, chomping at the bit to get on the pitch, chomping at the bit to do well. And he needs to knuckle down and prove the manager wrong.
Yeah, I was reading his full quotes. I think Ali Gold posted them as well. He was talking about his first 6 months. He was disappointed in himself as well, kind of how he performed. He knows he's capable of more. And at the end of the day, obviously, it tells you something when you've been left out of the squad, but it's up to him to prove the manager wrong when it comes to the decision to do that. And yeah, the word he uses, revengeful or something, revenge. That tells me, hopefully, he's going to have that fire in his belly to prove the manager wrong and prove a lot of people wrong who are right now writing him off and saying it was wrong for Tottenham to sign him and all that kind of stuff. But only he can do that when he's called upon and when he gets his opportunity. But look, I believe in him. I do believe he's a very good player, and I believe he's got a lot of potential. And I think, what if he has the quotes definitely show a good mentality. They definitely show me someone who's taking it on the chin, understands it to blow, and understand that it's not a good thing he's been left out, but sees an opportunity to prove people wrong and get his career back on track. And that's what he's got to do in these first 6 months, especially try and get himself back in the picture. Try and give Frank something to think about in January when it comes to putting the squad back together for the Champions League, for the knockouts. He's got to make sure I'm on the list. He's got to make sure Frank can't ignore him. He's got to be in such good form that it'll be stupid for Frank to leave him out. And that's his goal. And he can only do that by taking his chance when he's on the pitch, making a difference when called upon, and getting started in Premier League and Cup games, essentially, because he's not going to be starting in the Champions League, which will naturally give him opportunities in the Premier League because he's not going to be tired and he's going to be fresh for those games. So, he's going to be the natural kind of player to use, whether off the bench or off from the start. He's going to get opportunities. So he has to take them with both hands. That's what he's got to do. And it's kind of what Richarlison did in the summer. He got those opportunities to start with Solanke being injured. It might not have happened if Solanke was fit. And he grabbed that opportunity with both hands. Scored 2 goals, played out of his skin, and now he's our starting number 9. That's what Tell has to do.
Yeah, and he's got to take a leaf out of Jed Spence's book as well, because he was obviously left out of the European squad a year ago, and he made himself too hard to ignore, was one of our better players come the end of the season. So he's definitely going to have to take a leaf out of Spence and Richarlison's book. But you look at it with Mathis Tell, as however hard it was to leave him out the squad in this time, it's going to be even harder for him to get back into the squad come January, because, we're in the market for a winger, or we have been in the market for a winger. And also with the return of Decky as well, potentially, because you assume that Decky will be back in the squad come the second half of the season for the European. So that's even one less spot that he can probably fit into. Depends.
If he's in great form, then he's got to make himself unignorable. Maybe Odebel will be left out. He's got to make himself indispensable. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be very difficult, especially he's not in the Champions League squad, so there's going to be lots of opportunity for him to impress. But it's up to him. He's got to make sure the conversation in January isn't should we include him. It's who do we leave out for him. That's the conversation we need to. For him, that needs to be happening, and that's up to him to show what he's capable of.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is he's not spitting. It seems though he's not spitting his dummy out the pram. He's talking about the long term as well, saying it's a long first season. So he's talking about being here for a long time. He's not thinking, oh, they left me out. Do they not trust me? Am I going to have to be out the door in January or next summer? Have I chosen the wrong club? He's talking about, look, it's a long first season. I'm here for the long term, and it's a blow, but nothing that can't be recovered.
Yeah. Look, he's got a big 6 months ahead now. Because if we assume, we can't really assume it, but let's say we make the top 8, then the next squad, I don't think has to be announced before the last 16, which will be in, I think, February, March time. So he's got a massive 6 months ahead of him now, Mathis Tell, and I really hope that he proves the manager wrong. Because if he proves the manager wrong, he'll prove a lot of people wrong, including myself, and it will be the best for Tottenham Hotspur. So let's hope he can do that. And last but not least, on the update, Radu Dragusin has returned to full training, as we can see on Spurs' social media updates today. He's back on the pitch with Randall Kolo Muani, pretty much the only 2 left back from all the other players are on international. So it's basically Kolo, Randall, Muani, Dragusin, and a bunch of youth players on the training pitch.
Great news. It was interesting, though, because Frank said he's still probably a couple months away from playing. So, look, when you've got
it's an ACL, yeah.
ACL, you've got to be very careful with it. You can't bring them back too quickly. We've seen it before. Players maybe rush back, and then some players even done it again. Like in those circumstances, you just got to be very careful with it. But even Bentancur, I know, wasn't really related to his ACL, but he kind of came back and got injured very quickly after with his ankle. So great to see him back on the pitch. Great to see him training. Yeah, but don't expect to see him in any match day squads anytime soon. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I do have high hopes for Radu in a Thomas Frank system, because obviously I think that it was never the right fit having him in an Ange kind of system. And I think he'll be brilliant for Frank. I really do. And he could be that kind of defender that we wanted in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if he can be playing his best. I still obviously have question marks of him playing out the back, and under Frank you still need to do that. But I do think he's going to be less exposed defensively. I think defensively, with in a tighter unit, that's going to really help him, because I think when he was defending one-on-one and having those large spaces to cover, definitely didn't suit him for sure. So I think also as well, playing in the back 3 under Frank, I think he'll like that, maybe playing in the middle, but still playing out the back is something he needs to improve.
Yeah, for sure. So that is our Tottenham update for today. Let me know your thoughts in all the news stories that we have spoken about today. Just before we move on, we got a super chat from White Wolves saying, why can't we leave this guy who left us for trophies in the past? If we're really in a new era, then let's act like we're in a new era. He's going to be 33 next summer.
I mean, there's a case for it. Some people say never go back, don't they? And does Kane represent hanging on to an old era rather than going for a new one?
I mean, it does to a certain extent. However, when a player like Harry Kane's ability comes on the market, you're talking about the best, one of the best strikers in Europe at this moment in time. Like, I don't really care for that sentiment saying don't go back and all that when it comes to a player like Harry Kane. If you're talking about someone like Emerson Royale, then I'd completely agree with you. But Harry Kane is probably one of the one-offs of a player that you should go back for. Like, the guy is pure quality, man. He really is pure quality. Come through the academy as well. It's going to help with the club train numbers in terms of Europe as well. I think it's a no-brainer that you bring Harry Kane back to the football club.
Yeah, that's what I would do as well. I don't really... These notions never go back. I never like these hardened rules. Like, they don't really make much logical sense. Like, if there's a reason to bring him back, then bring him back. Just because he's played for us before, that means he can never play for us again. Is that the kind of logic? I don't really understand it myself.
And he's a pure professional, He's not like going to come here and, with his heels dragged against the floor. You know what I mean? He's going to come here. He's going to work hard. He's going to score goals, and he's going to break that record.
Yeah, and it's a guy who left because we weren't matching his ambition. So him coming back would be hopefully a signifier of us being more ambitious and hopefully matching that ambition of his.
Yeah.
But then again, is it, you don't want him coming back because he doesn't have an option, really. You want him coming back because he believes we're onto something good.
But I don't think he would come back if he didn't feel we were onto something good. I think he would have higher ambitions than that. I think if it was to come back to the Premier League, but there's no options, he would probably, and Tottenham's the only option there, and he's only joining us because we're an option. I think he would prefer to stay in Bayern for another year.
Or if he's just desperate to come back to the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that, and if Tottenham's the only option.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he would come if we were the only option and he felt like we were in the same moment as when he had left and the club hasn't really progressed. I don't think he would come back. I think he'll probably prefer to stay in Germany for another year and then see what options he's got on a free transfer.
Ali Gold says Romero is already back training at Hotspur Way.
Yeah, because he was suspended for the second Argentina game. So that's positive.
So another player back.
So he's going to be joining Radu Dragusin.
So is Moani going to be injured then for the West Ham game, essentially? Is that what
Just go easy on him, Kuti. Come on. But yeah, it's good that Kuti's back and he didn't want to hang around in Argentina, even just a show of support. But we'll get into the internationals a bit later in the stream. But look, let's move on and let's talk about this ownership situation, because there's been a couple of updates on it, even a statement on the club website, which I thought was absolutely fascinating, that the club are actually responding to media speculation on the website in form of a statement. So just before we get into that statement, there's been a couple of updates from various journalists on the matter. And Matt Laws says that over 100 million is scheduled to be pumped into Tottenham to help press ahead with ENIC's desire to make sure Tottenham can be competitive on all fronts. Daniel Levy's departure from Spurs may unlock the stadium naming rights, something that the club have been working towards. And a club source from the Lewis family has told that the media that the club is not for sale. Sky Cava says that Tottenham say a majority owner, ENIC 86.6, has rejected a takeover interest from Amanda Staveley's PCP and Roger Kennedy Wing Fei consortium, insisting that the club is not for sale. Interested parties have until October the 5th to make formal bids, but PCP is expected to withdraw, and Spurs are valued at about £4 billion. And Mark Kleiman from Sky says that former Newcastle joint owner Amanda Staveley is expected to issue a statement imminently following the discussions with the United Kingdom takeover watchdog, saying that she does not intend to make a formal offer for Tottenham Hotspur. And people close to the situation that said that Staveley had been in discussions with backers of a bid for the club in recent weeks. Martin Ziegler from The Times says that a consortium represented by Amanda Staveley will continue to monitor events at Tottenham before deciding whether to make any further approach to buy the club next year. So all that has been going on in the background. Obviously, we've seen Amanda Staveley at Spurs games for a while now. We've heard, locked in talks with Daniel Levy. There's been two kind of sides to this that we've spoken about when Daniel Levy got sacked, in terms of whether Spurs are for sale, what the situation is there, and what the stance is from ENIC. So we said at the time that either ENIC are not for sale, or Spurs are not for sale, and they do want to say they want to, make Tottenham better on the sporting project and stuff like that, which is a reason why Daniel Levy was sacked. Or has Daniel Levy been sacked because he's been a stumbling block and he's been a kind of object in the way of Spurs being sold? So on the back of that, Spurs have issued this public statement, which is pretty mad. I've never seen Spurs issue a public statement kind of this vein before. There's been a lot of talk about Spurs being taken over in the past, but never have they issued a public statement. And I'm just trying to get it up. Yeah, here it is. So it's a hefty old statement on the website, which reads that the board of Tottenham Hotspur is aware of recent media speculation and confirms that its majority stakeholder, ENIC Sports and Development Holdings Ltd, has received and unequivocally rejected separate preliminary expressions of interest in relation to proposals to acquire the entire issued and to be issued a share capital of ENIC from PCB International Finance Limited and a consortium investors led by Dr. Roger Kennedy and Wing Fei through Firehawks Holding Limited as a consequence of ENIC's majority ownership interest in Tottenham Hotspur, where any offer made to acquire ENIC and complete a mandatory offer would be required under Rule 9 and a code to acquire the shares of Tottenham Hotspur not already held by ENIC. The board of the club and ENIC confirm that Tottenham Hotspur is not for sale and ENIC has no intention to accept any offer to acquire its interest in the club. In accordance to Rule 2.6a of the code, each of the PCP and the consortium is separately required by not a later date than 5 p.m. on the 5th of October 2025 to either announce a firm intention to make an offer for the club in accordance to Rule 2.7 of the Code, or announce that it does not intend to make an offer for the company, in which case their respective announcements will be treated as a statement to which the Rule 2.8 of the Code applies. The deadline can be extended with the consent of the panel on takeovers and mergers in accordance to Rule 2.6c of the Code. Accordingly, this announcement commences an offer period for the purposes of the Code. The person responsible, and then they just literally state Peter Charrington, Rothschild, and a few other guys, and they've actually put their phone numbers and emails in the statement as well. And then there's a bunch of other stuff that just talk about the rules and stipulations regarding everything. So, I mean, what do you make out of all this?
Well, apparently they're legally required to make this statement. So I don't know how much of a surprise it is or whatever. Does this mean that they're not going to sell in the future? I don't think so. I mean, I don't think it doesn't mean that, sorry. I still think that they're probably looking to sell. I think at the moment, I think when you put out a statement like that Spurs are not for sale, obviously strengthens your selling position, because you're putting out the impression that you're not wanting to lose it without losing it to a fair price. If you're putting out the message, we are for sale, all of a sudden you lose a bit of leverage in negotiation. So it doesn't surprise me that they've put out a statement like that, given the media's speculation. But I don't think it means too much. It just means in the short term. Apparently these offers came in after Levy left. So if that's the case, that tells me Levy's gone. They must have had some sort of encouragement to put in offers or something, but maybe the offers haven't met the requirement of what ENIC want, or maybe they think with Levy out of the picture they can get a better deal. But it seems as though ENIC is maybe holding to their price, and they want, you know, the 3.5-4 billion.
Well, they probably saw, you know, Levy as that man in the middle that, you know, we heard rumours that with any takeover he still wants to be involved, he still wants to be running the club and everything like that. And once they saw Levy leaving, maybe that was, you know, a trigger for them to say, well, look, Levy's not in the picture anymore in terms of negotiations for a sale. And they thought, well, maybe it'll be an easier kind of hurdle to get across now. Yeah,
I just don't think it's a coincidence that they've bid since Levy's gone. Like, in terms of there must have been something in the background in terms of talks and stuff. Thinking like, once Levy goes, we're hearing, you know, Levy's going to be out. So once he goes, let's firm our interest. But at the moment, they're saying not for sale. So, I mean, the rumours are that Lewis family at the moment are portraying into the media and to the fans that we've let go of Levy because we want better sporting performances on the pitch, and we're going to invest heavily. And then there's talk of £100 million investment. I mean, does a £100 million investment in this day and age, in this market, suggest massive ambition?
Not necessarily, but 100 million on top of what we can already spend is probably quite significant in terms of all the money that we bring in and everything like that. There's no suggestion that we're going to have monstrous amounts of money to spend, but even with Daniel Levy, we've been net spending about 100 million a summer on average for the last 3-4 years. So if you take that money plus an investment, then that does look quite significant.
Yeah, but is this 100 million just to cover what we just spent? I don't know. I just feel this is all very much PR statements from the Lewis family.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't disagree.
To like get the fans on side, to try and give the fans what they want to hear. In the lead up to what potentially could be a sale down the line, in my opinion. I don't know. Like, let's be honest, the Lewis family have been in control of this the whole time. Levy's pretty much done their bidding. It's not like Levy's been at odds with Joe Lewis for this whole time. They've been working together. Levy spent the amount of money Lewis has given him. Lewis has not really invested anything in the club. Obviously, the PR move now is, it's his kids or grandkids, whoever it is, who are now in charge, and they see things differently. And look, I mean, that might be true, but I just find it hard to believe that Joe Lewis is he's completely out of the picture. They're not listening to whatever he has to say. They're now going in a different direction. They're only looking for sporting achievements. That's their number one priority. They want to win more games and win them more often. And it's not for sale, and that's their main aim. I'm just very, very skeptical. I'm not really buying it at the moment.
Yeah, and I think you should be right to be skeptical of it, because what is ENIC?
Investment company.
Exactly. And what investment companies do, they come in, they buy for cheap, and they sell for big. So I think that's what the ultimate game will be here, is to sell Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
They've already come in and bought it for, what was it, like 75 million or something around that figure. I can't remember the exact figure. And once they sell, they're going to be selling for over 4 billion, £4 billion. So that is mad money to make on a business over the course of 25 years. So I do think that's going to be the end game here for ENIC. It is to sell. And I think getting rid of Daniel Levy, you can look at it two ways. It's either what they're portraying in the media, is it to be better on the pitch and for sporting success. Obviously, they have to put that out, because that's the only thing that's going to get the fans on board. They're not going to come out and say, oh, we've got rid of Levy because we want to make more money and we want to sell the club. Well, to be fair, to put the club on the market is probably another thing that probably get fans on board in the short term, because a lot of fans do want ENIC out. But look, they have to say that they want to do better on the pitch. That's just what they have to put out there, in my opinion. It will get fans on board, and a new era without Daniel Levy. That's just what they have to say. But in my opinion, the end game here is to sell. I think it has to be, and I think Daniel Levy was a clear object in that. They built the club up to such a significant proportion where, it can earn 4 to 5 billion. The infrastructure's there. It's a club ready to explode. I think it's such an attractive proposition for a potential buyer. So I think at some point they will look to sell, but it's about how they manage the club from now until that point. Are they going to scrimp and save and not spend too much money until that point? Some kind of investors or some owners, before they save, they kind of like strip all assets until that time is to sell. But I don't know the way they're going to manage it. That's what it comes down to.
I reckon, in terms of the amount we're spending at the moment, I don't know if we'll see a massive increase in that. That's just my opinion. I mean, we're spending at the moment like 100 million net, like a summer anyway. So it's not like we're not spending anything. Obviously, compared to like a lot of the bigger clubs, we're not matching their level of investment. Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal spending on kind of 200 million this summer. But I don't know. I don't think we're matching that in the near future until maybe we sell.
In terms of net spend, I think we're like the 4th highest in the league
this season, this summer.
I think over the last few years.
Yeah, something like that. Which, whether you can like that or not, I just don't know if it's going to be much more than that. Which I don't know necessarily like a terrible thing. Like, we don't have to be top, but like of the net spend, I just don't think we should expect. I don't think much is going to change when it comes to how much we're spending. Maybe wages will go up.
I hope so.
Maybe we'll start spending more on wages. Obviously, Simons, we've given him pay parity with Romero. Romero's got a new contract. Spencer got a new contract. So there is some evidence of higher wages being paid. I don't know how much more Arnie's on.
It's just a replacement in wages, though, isn't it? It's not like that we're pushing the boat out anymore, because we've got wages off the bill in Son, who was, of that kind of exactly the same wages.
Yeah, but Kudus is on over 100 grand. I don't know how much more Arnie's on. I would imagine he's on over 100 grand. Paulinho, I'm guessing he's on over 100 grand. So we are adding a lot of these players on high wages. I know 2 of them on loan, but still, we are adding a lot of higher wage players into the squad. So maybe there is a bit of evidence of that, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes long term.
Yeah, Meme Football in the comments says that why would they invest 100 million into the club if they're looking to sell?
Why would they invest 100 million into the club they're looking to sell? Don't know. I'm not. There are all these different things going on in the background. I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of ulterior motives. There's what they're putting out in the public and what's really going on behind the scenes. Like the whole Levy story, who really knows what's happened in the background? Was he ousted because he was blocking the sale? Some even suggesting, was he ousted because he was looking to sell and maybe they don't want him to, so they ousted him? I don't really know. I would say probably the former, but we're never really going to know what's happening behind closed doors. There's a lot of stuff happening publicly, which they're going to say why it's happening, but we never truly know what's going on behind closed doors. We can only speculate, really.
Yeah.
We can obviously take what they're saying on face value. It's not for sale. They want sporting achievement, all this kind of stuff. But I just don't buy it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to when you know what ENIC are and you know what they're all about. They're all about making money, and they're all about.
And what, after 25 years, all of a sudden they're after sporting achievement?
Yeah, but I guess the excuse that they give for that is that Joe Lewis is supposedly no longer involved anymore. And I've actually heard in the background for years that Joe Lewis's kids have always wanted success on the pitch, but who knows how true that is? We don't know. So I think if they're not going to sell anytime soon in the next year to 2 years, whatever it may be, we need to take them on face value that they want improvements on the pitch and they need to put their money where their mouth is now. And I think it's important, and I was speaking to Brian about this a couple of nights ago, maybe it was last night, that we need to give them time and we need to see what they're about to do. So I think, you need to see over the January transfer window, you need to see over the summer transfer window, and I don't think there should be any kind of discredit to the board. We need to give them time and we need to see what they want to achieve, and when we want to see how they're going to achieve it. So we need to give them time and space to work in.
Spurs just released a video. One sec. Santos Meme Football just said they released a video update from the CEO. Is that true? Let me just check. No, I don't see it. Oh yeah, they have. Update from Vini 1 minute ago. 9 minutes long.
Oh, let's get it up and give it a listen.
Live reaction. It's on the Spurs official. Wait, how do we do this? So, is this going to be plugged into the laptop? No, on YouTube.
An update from Vini Venkatesan, the new CEO of
So I don't know what they're going to
Tottenham.
Don't know what they're going to be saying. How are we doing this?
I was going to take your laptop.
And then what? And then I'm connected, and then we can listen to it through the TV.
You can listen to it through your computer.
Through my computer. So I need to unplug that.
All right, live update, people.
Yeah. Just. Meme Football is on it. He must have notifications on Spurs. All right.
Big up to Meme Football. Come on.
So Vini, this is his first interview, which I like, by the way, because he's communicating straight away. Levy's left a few days ago. There's no cloak and darkness like Levy, makes you wait for ages to hear from him, and straight away get me on camera.
That's what his thing is, though. It's always been fan interaction. He did a massive job
communication.
At that for Arsenal. Communication is key. And he's done a great job of that since coming into Spurs, even with Levy.
He's probably been on camera just as many times as Levy within a few months. All right, here we are. So, I don't know if can they hear? Will they be able to hear it?
Yeah, they should be able to. Yeah.
Put it on full screen.
Maybe move us to the other side. Just move us to the other side. Yeah. Okay. Do you reckon it's
zoom us in? Cut it off. Yeah.
Okay. Ready? Oh wait.
All right. So now we are gonna go into 8 minutes. Vini's interview. Let's get it on.
Fair to say, one of the most significant periods
I can't hear it.
They can hear it.
They can hear it, but I can't hear it. One sec.
Unplug it, maybe.
Unplug. Oh wait, plug it back into the thing. One sec.
The recent history of the football club over the last few days.
All right, let's get into it now.
Vinay, thanks for sitting down with us.
can
I
hear
think it's fair to say one of the most significant periods in the recent history of the football club over the last few days. Can you just talk us through where we currently are?
Well, I think it's really fair to say that it was big news last week with the announcement on Thursday that Daniel is leaving the club. But what I would say is that the club is well organised for succession. So we have a very strong executive team in place, and whilst it might feel like a slightly strange thing to say to the external world, although it's big news, inside the club it really is business as usual. But I really wanted to start today by paying tribute to Daniel. I mean, what he has done at this football club over the last 25 years is extraordinary. He has played a huge part in the transformation of the club, and there are so many examples. The training centre, the stadium, the media centre that we're just sitting outside now. His contribution is there for all to see, and I think his legacy really is extraordinary. For me personally, obviously I was expecting that I was going to be working with Daniel for many years. It's ended up only being a few months, but he's been a wonderful support and counsel to me during that period, and I feel really settled in. And I think.
Do you believe that? He said he expected to be working for Lever years.
Do I believe it?
Because I know there's been rumours. I've done him dirty there with the pause, but because there's a lot of rumours.
The rumours came in after Vini came in, though, didn't they? The rumours came in after the Europa League final. Really, the strong rumours.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
I don't think he's lying there.
Yeah.
I think that he did expect when joining the club to be working with him for a number of years. Maybe once in the role, things became a bit more clearer. But I don't think he's lying there.
Because who came here first, him or Charrington? Was it Charrington?
I think it was Vini.
Did Vini come first?
I think Vini came before Charrington.
Then that definitely makes sense that he's not lying. We obviously heard the rumours around June, didn't we? About Levy being ousted.
Yeah.
But obviously a lot of the rumours were that Charrington's been installed to kind of oversee
So
Levy.
Charrington came in 12th of March.
Oh, so I think it must have been Vini second. No? It wasn't Vini because...
April. Yeah, April. So Charrington came in first, actually.
Okay. Well, let us know in the comment section below if you believe that. Anyway, get him to...
I think also at a time like this, it's really natural to pause and look back and reflect. But I also know in my job, it's really important to look forward. And this is a new era for the club under new leadership, completely backed by a majority shareholder, the Lewis family. So we can feel optimistic and ambitious for the future as well.
Can you just tell me about the foundations that the club have now to build from over the foreseeable future, but the foundations that Daniel has helped to create?
Sure, listen, I think in terms of the foundations, and you've heard me talk a little bit about this before, I think, we've got an extraordinary stadium, we've got an extraordinary training centre. I admit I'm biased because I grew up in London. I think we're based in the best city in the world, and we've got a massive global fan base. We saw in May in Bilbao what that next step is. That next step is competing for and ultimately winning major trophies. We've had a taste of that. It's even better than you imagined. You realise the club is even bigger than you thought it was, and you're hungry for more. And that's what everybody associated with this football club is hungry for. More nights like that.
Yeah, all of us that had a taste of Bilbao very much got the taste for it now and want so much more. Can you tell me a little bit about what the family have said to you at the moment? What's been their messaging to you?
Well, first and foremost, I know the Lewis family really well. I think it's important for our supporters to know that they're very, very passionate about Tottenham Hotspur and they're ambitious for the club. And when I talk about their ambition, what they're really focused on is ensuring that everything that we do across the complete breadth of the club really centres back and is focused on giving our men's team and our women's team the best chance to be successful on the pitch over the long term. So that's their laser focus, all around being successful on the pitch. They know, of course, that we operate in a very competitive environment and that there are a number of other teams that have the exact same ambitions we have to compete to win the biggest trophies in the game. So we know it's not easy, and we know that there's hard work ahead, but that absolutely is the focus. They're also focused on stability. They know there's been lots of change at the club, and now it's time for some calm and for some stability. And finally, they believe and trust in the people that we have working in the organisation. So their model is all about empowering the people we have on the ground to deliver against the ambition they have, and of course the ambition that we all share.
So
Is this the first time we've heard someone at the club talk on behalf of the Lewis family? Because they have been so quiet over 25 years.
I think it is the first time ever.
Like, all of a sudden, they want their feelings known. Joe Lewis has never said anything, has he?
Yeah.
Like,
No,
about
he's
like,
always been
publicly.
silent owner.
Yeah,
that's all it's ever
in the
been.
Everyone says he's in the Bahamas. He just collecting his money. All of a sudden, Levy's left, and they're doing this whole thing. Look, they've had all the media reports now. Vini, no surprise, he's doing this video and saying he's basically echoing what a lot of the media reports are saying about the Lewis family, what they want.
The thing is, like, it's all great what he's saying, right? It's all what fans want to hear, but it does sound very scripted, doesn't it?
He's basically parroting what the reports are saying. So it's basically been a brief. I'm not saying they're lying. I'm just saying there's clearly been a media brief to all the journalists, to everyone, and now basically they're pushing it through the club as well. And Vini's on camera parroting what the media brief is, which is the Lewis family want sporting success. They want to be more competitive. They want to win more games, which is what we've heard already. So this is what basically Vini is,
and it's exactly what
saying.
we want to hear as fans.
They're basically saying what we want to say, but I just find it very interesting. All of a sudden, obviously, look, I guess no one else is going to be talking right now with Levy gone. He's basically been the face of everything for the last 25 years, and he's the one been making all the public statements. But Levy has never once talked about what the Lewis family want, has he? He's never mentioned them once.
Because it's never really been the Lewis family before. It's always been just Joe Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since the whole insider trader thing with Joe Lewis and he had to hand it over to his kids and everything like that, now it is the Lewis family. But for the lion's share of the 25 years that Enoch have owned Spurs, it's nothing to do with the Lewis family. It's always been Joe Lewis.
But that happened in 2022. So that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So we haven't heard anything for 3 years
not
until
since
now.
Then. Not since then, no.
So I just find it very interesting. All of a sudden, they want it known what their feelings are, and they're putting their voice onto things, and that's being parroted everywhere. It's just very obviously it kind of makes sense because, well, I guess they didn't have to. I mean, they don't have to have their feelings known, even though Levy's being ousted. They could just put Charrington and Vini at the front of things without mentioning their names, and no one really say anything. But
I think it's a ploy to get fans on side. That's what it is, to get the Lewis family being shown in a good light to Spurs fans. That's what it is. It's all PR, in my opinion.
Why don't they say they should get in front of camera? I think that'd be better. If they want to get people really on side, I would say.
But I mean, Vini
it's great on camera, yeah.
First of all, he's good on camera. He's the guy running the day-to-day in the club. So, I mean, he's the one that's going to be putting the messages out.
That's true, and he's probably the best person to do it. But I'm just saying, Levy has never once been on camera saying, this is what Joe Lewis or the Lewis family want. Obviously, Vini's doing that now, but it would be great to hear it from the horse's mouth. Levy's been the one basically talking on behalf of them without mentioning their name, really, over the years. But now, all of a sudden, they want it to be known this is what they want. But I guess it might be nice to hear from them, from the
I don't think
mouth.
we will, to be honest. I don't think we will. I think all the messages will come out through V9.
All right,
Let's talk about the family. Who's been involved from the family so far?
Well, there's been a big focus on the club from the next generation of the family, and to talk you through the key people. So the first is Viv Lewis, who is a very regular attendee at Tottenham Hotspur games and also frequently joins us on pre-season tour. So she was with us this summer for the whole of our tour to Hong Kong and South Korea. And going forward around the club, you'll be seeing a bit more of her brother, Charlie, and also her son-in-law, Nick. And the thing that ties them all together is their passion for Tottenham Hotspur and their ambition for the club moving forward.
So let's talk about Peter
and
Charrington.
Joe Lewis's kids. That also ties it
but
together.
The thing is, though, like, even before all this, even before 3 years ago when Joe got kind of done for insider trading and he handed it over to his kids, I'd heard from people that Viv is a massive Spurs fan and she does want major success on the pitch, and she always didn't like what Daniel Levy was doing at Tottenham. That's what I heard. So you can take of that what you will, but I don't know how true it is, but that's kind of what the noise has been for many, many years, not just since they've taken over at the club.
So what you're saying is she's been ignored for ages, or had no say?
She had no say. She had no say.
Or she's Joe Lewis's daughter. I'm sure she can talk to him if he wants.
Yeah, I know, but she can talk to him, but it doesn't mean she has an official say.
I know she doesn't have an official say, but
now she has an official say.
As the daughter of
the last couple of years.
Understand that, but as the daughter of the owner,
yeah,
she think she has his ear at least, and maybe she's being ignored.
She might have his ear, but she doesn't have an official say.
So she's being ignored.
Like any company that has a daughter, like that the company owner has a daughter, doesn't mean she can heavily influence what the company does.
Saying she can officially do it, but if she was had this burning passion for it, you would have thought she'd make her feelings known.
Yeah, maybe she has.
That means she's being ignored from
Joe. But maybe she was being ignored, maybe. But she has no official capacity to make any decisions when now she does.
And his role as well.
Sure, well, Peter is not new to the board. He joined our board in March. He is a great guy, very personable, very experienced. We have a great relationship and we speak very, very frequently. I think it's probably important to say that he's going to be doing a different role to the role that Daniel did. So Daniel was executive chairman. So what that meant was Daniel was full-time and involved in the club on a day-to-day basis, where Peter's role is that he will be non-executive chairman. And that means he won't be involved in the club on a full-time basis and he won't be involved in the club on a day-to-day basis. And his model is all around empowerment. He will be empowering us on the ground to get on with things. But of course, he will be leading the board and will be a very important part of the club going forward.
So what is he doing?
Who, Charrington? He's empowering them.
He's empowering. So he's not there day to day. He's not there full time. And his job is to empower. So what is he doing?
His role is oversee a takeover.
No, that's what it sounds like to me. Get this takeover done, essentially. That's what it sounds like. Because he doesn't want to be involved in any decision making, it sounds. He doesn't want to be involved in running of the club. He wants to take a step back, and his main role is to empower others to do jobs. So it doesn't really sound like he's doing much. I don't know. Well, I don't know what he's doing. It doesn't really, if you were to, we just heard his job outline, and I'm still don't know what that means.
I guess he's going to be, above the food chain than Vini and keeping all of
but doing what?
Keeping Vini in check, I guess. I don't know what exactly he's going to be doing, but he's purely a money man. That's what Vini.
Yeah, he's not a football guy.
That's what a Charrington is.
Yeah, he's not a football guy.
But that's positive as well, because Vini has been in and around football before. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he was at Arsenal, and I don't know what he was doing before that. But if Charrington and him are the ones leading up the board, and Charrington has no clue what to do in football, then it's good that he's not there day to day.
No, agreed. But is he good that he's there at all? I don't know. So I'm guessing Vini is going to be doing the negotiating then on that basis.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's keep going. What
about for you personally? What does your role entail now?
Well, I think it's fair to say it's been a very, very busy 3 months. There's not been much in the way of weekends, evenings. Actually, there's not been much in the way of sleep. So it's been a very busy start. But everybody's been really welcoming inside and outside the club. Very warm, very welcoming. So I feel really, really settled in. I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to the challenge ahead. But a really important thing to be clear on is this is not just about me, and it's certainly not all about me. Everything that we achieve at the club will be part of a team, and I mean that. So naturally, I guess as chief executive, my name ends up in the media and I end up sitting here and doing an interview with you. But we've got 800 people at the club, and we need everybody at the club pulling together to drive us forward. This is certainly not all about one person or a small group of people.
Yeah, the world of football moves so.
He answered the question about what his role is.
No, it doesn't say. He's just said he hasn't slept. Essentially, that's his role. His role is
not sleeping. His role.
He looks like he's sleep deprived as well. To say.
Unbelievably quickly, straight away there was talk of a takeover.
Yes.
Can you just go into a little bit there about what the club stance is on that, and what is the response to that talk so far?
Yeah, I've seen that very quickly, as you say, there's been a lot of newspaper articles and a lot of media speculation around takeover, so I can be really clear on this. So the Lewis family are really clear. They see their involvement in Tottenham Hotspur being long-term, and they see their involvement continuing through the generations. We made a statement very late last night, and the statement, I hope, was unambiguously clear that Tottenham Hotspur is not for sale.
The natural progression for fans is that they will want to know, what does this mean in terms of investment into the team that will take to the field, both on the men's and on the women's side as well. How does this affect our ability to invest in those sides?
Sure. So I need to try and answer your question without leading to a whole load of transfer war chest stories tomorrow. Listen, I think it is very fair to say that we have firm backing from the Lewis family against our ambitions to be successful on the pitch, both on the men's side and women's side. They know that's going to require investment, and we have their firm backing. But I would also say, like all other 20 Premier League clubs, we also need to make sure that we're also cognizant and aware of the financial fair play rules. And that means we need to continue to grow our revenues. We need to continue to develop players, both from the academy and young players that we buy. We need to make sure that we're selling players at the right time. And we also need to make sure that every time we're recruiting a player, we're making smart decisions, both from a sporting perspective and a financial perspective. If you don't do that, because of how the financial regulations work, you can find yourself in a position where you've got money to spend, but the regulations don't allow you to spend it. So I guess to summarise, absolutely there's financial backing against the ambition we have. And like every other club in the Premier League, we need to do that in line with the financial fair play rules.
Sounds good. Financial backing.
Sounds very good.
Sounds
very good.
War chest.
Got the full financial backing of the Lewis family.
Sorry, Vini, we're changing the
and they
title
want to be here for generations to come.
We're changing the title of the live stream. War chest. Well, Vini announces war chest. Transfer war chest. I mean, look, it sounds great. We've got the financial backing. He sounds pretty confident in when he says it, when he delivers it. He's a very good talker, isn't he, Vini?
He's a very good talker, and I think it's like quite mad that he's coming out and just being like so strong on his stance. But it's also interesting to buy it though that Spurs are not for sale, like at any price. If a bid comes in for $5 billion, you're telling me they're not going to accept it?
I've never.
And what about the percentage that Levy owns as well?
He's a 30% shareholder in ENIC.
Yeah.
What about it?
So obviously he has a percentage in the club. Would he be willing to, if Levy goes out and sells his share? Is that anything to do with ENIC? Can he sell a share in the club without their say so?
Don't know how it works. Maybe.
Surely he would be able to.
Don't see why not. I don't know. I don't know how all these things work, but it's just very interesting. The questions Haynes, he's probably been given a list of questions to ask, but these are very kind of open, like very poignant questions, which it's interesting that he's being asked to ask them, if you know what I mean. Usually with these interviews, like when it's to Levy or whatever, they're very just monotone questions and you don't get much of an answer, and they're questions that no one really cares about. But Haynes has been like, he's asking literally the CEO of our club, how much investment we're going to have. Is the club for sale? Like, he's being asked to ask very direct questions, which Vini is obviously asking. He's been asked to ask them, so it's not a surprise, but it's quite interesting, the questions he's been told to ask.
Absolutely.
Like, quite direct questions, which I don't think Levy's ever been asked these kind of questions from an interviewer. So that's quite good. They're trying to be more open, and Vini's doing his best to answer without giving too much away. But it sounds good. In a lot of investment against the ambitions of the club. See if actions speak louder than words, obviously.
Yeah, it's time to put it into practice.
Take me into this next period of time. What comes next?
Listen, I think, as I said at the start, it is business as usual in many ways. When I joined, I talked about wanting to do three things. The first is doing everything I could to support our excellent technical teams on the ground, both on the men's side and the women's side, to give us the best chance to be successful on the pitch. That continues to be a focus. I said my second focus was going to be around our people at the football club, making sure that we're doing everything we can to empower them to be at their best, to drive the club forward.
Oh, so his job's empowering now, is it? Well, I thought
everyone's job is empowering.
I thought it was Charrington's job.
Charrington empowers him and he empowers everyone else.
All I've heard about Charrington's job is not to work full-time and to empower people. If he's empowering as well, so basically Charrington's only job is not to work full-time.
Everyone has to empower.
Best people with the best culture to deliver against our ambitions. And the third one, our relationship with our supporters, make sure that they're right behind us, make sure that they understand what we're trying to do, communicate better with our supporters, and ultimately make them proud of what their football club is trying to do and what our football club over time will deliver.
And that last point is definitely something we've noticed since Vini's come in, whether it be having the scarves in at Bodo away, different things. Extra drink. I don't know when that was. In certain games.
Bodo.
Was it Bodo at home?
Yeah.
So like all little different things. This communication about club's ownership, which I can't imagine Levy doing an interview like this just soon after a big change like that. Being communicative. I think Vini, that's something that wherever I think Arsenal fans always said he was quite good at, or whatever reservations they did have about him. So that's something that seems to be improving in what we've seen in the short term.
Yeah, look, I think he's done a great job in that aspect, but it's all very well and good. The end of the day, he's only going to do as well as the people behind him in terms of the Lewis family following through in what they say that they're going to do. Are they going to, invest heavily into the club? Do they actually want success on the football pitch? That's what it all comes down to. Or is this just a kind of play in the background to suggest Spurs are not for sale, to to make the price higher for a bidder to come in? So look, everything will come to light eventually. But if we take them on face value and this is what they want to do, then it all sounds great, and we got to give them time to implement it.
Big up to him for putting out a video and communicating with the fans and trying to, or appear to be as honest as possible. Obviously, he's clearly under direction from the Lewis family. It does remind me a bit how much he said the Lewis family, how much Gibbs White was saying Mr. Marinakis. He was like saying the Lewis family this, the Lewis family that.
Viv has got a gun behind the screen.
Maybe, I don't know. But look, it all sounds great. I mean, they're saying all the right things. It's just about, we basically we've been burnt before, haven't we, with people saying things and not following through. And
well, we've been burnt before for Unic, so just Unic alone,
obviously a different mouthpiece, but
it's hard to fully buy into and fully believe what they say just because of the last 25 years. However, Levy's not there anymore. They are putting these messages through, which they've never done before. So it's time to give them a bit of time to do their work and to see how they follow through on it, what they actually do. If we see a kind of massive change in the way Spurs deal with players coming in, the wage structure, actually trying to compete at the highest level, then that's what we all want to see.
Sorry.
No, go on.
What does giving time look like? What does that mean?
What does giving time look like is going through a number of transfer windows and seeing if that dramatically improves. I'm looking at January, and I think we'll have a much better idea by the end of the summer.
If we don't spend heavily in January?
Then they're probably looking to sell.
So there's one window.
No, sorry, I said end of the summer.
So if they don't spend heavily in the summer, then what?
Then I think that will tell me that they're looking to sell.
But when you say give time, is that to know their
intentions? Yeah,
not to put pressure on them. Start protesting.
Look, I think it depends how badly it is. It depends how bad things are going. But I think forget protesting for now. It's all about knowing what their intentions are. And it's either one or the other. It's either they want to heavily invest in the squad and they want Spurs to be better on the pitch, or they want to sell. So if they're not investing, then they're going to be gone pretty soon anyway. So it's either something very good or something else that can lead to something good, or depends who else comes in. So I don't know what protesting will actually do.
It's going to be very interesting to see where this all heads, because obviously we definitely haven't heard the last of this.
Yeah.
And there's going to be lots of stories. You're going to hear lots of takeover stories, maybe naming rights. Maybe that's going to come up again. There's going to be a lot of different things coming up. So it's very, very interesting. The future of Tottenham is in a weird place right now. And it's going to be interesting to see what direction it takes, because we're in brand new territory. We've been kind of waiting to get to this kind of stage for a long time to see where we're going to go. And here we're here. We're literally living it right now. A new direction, a new era. Whether it be Estelle, whether it be Lewis, and, it's still something new. So it's going to be so interesting to see what the next few years has in store for us. It could be a crazy time.
Yeah, but regarding protest in general, obviously I've been a massive supporter of them over the last year or two, longer than that. But I think it's important just to get fully behind the club now. I don't think there should be any protests at all for the season.
So if we're really underperforming, let's not say I'm Frank out or anything, but if we're really underperforming, like say we were last year for parts of it, obviously once the team starts underperforming, it's just like clockwork, isn't it? Like the protest will start getting.
But what are you
talked
actually
about
protesting
in account.
against?
That's what I'm saying. So is it just fully like on the manager now? Is that what we're saying? Or
well, obviously Levy's only just left a few days ago, so I think there are holes in the squad which has been left from the January window, from the summer transfer window. But that's, if we're going into a new era now, we need to act like we're going into a new era, and everything's just white from scratch. You know, we need to give them their time to put their fingerprints onto the team and onto the squad and onto the whole club. So, look, even if Spurs go through a bad moment or a hard moment throughout the season, I just don't see what the point is in protesting anymore.
I agree. You just know what football fans are like, though, don't you?
But what would people be protesting against?
I don't know. I'm not saying we should or that we will. I'm just saying, what will we take our frustrations out on? Because everyone seems like Frank wants to give him time. We're now saying it's a new era.
Everything
so if we
is
lose,
so brand new.
So if we start losing lots of games, I don't know. Let's hope this doesn't happen, obviously. But if we start hitting some rough form and we're underperforming in the league and whatever, what will fans take their frustrations on? It'll be interesting to see.
Each other.
Each other. You're the problem. Tottenham fans out.
I think
they have, because that's what fans do. They take their frustrations out. There's a scapegoat. There's someone to take your frustrations out, isn't there? And if it's not a manager and if it's not the board, I don't know who else it could be.
The reality is we can't speak for other fans. We can only speak for ourselves.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying right now. And right now, for me, I think it's time to fully get behind everyone, from the manager to the ownership. Let's all go forward as one, and time will tell what their real intentions are, and then we can make our decision when that time comes.
Yeah, I wonder, but I do wonder, just a part of me saying, if we do start hitting this rough form, will there be people out there saying, nothing changes till their ENIC are gone, hashtag ENIC out? Are we going to start seeing that happen again?
Well, if they keep acting the same way, then it will come to that, and it will probably be very valid.
Right, but in the next 6 months before the January window,
no,
we won't be able
next
to know.
6 months you can't make
let's
a
say
judgment on it.
we're 13th come January. Like, who's gonna? What is it going to be? Hashtag Frank out, hashtag ENIC out. There's going to be a hashtag. Trust me, there's going to be a hashtag. It's just what it's going to be.
Hashtag anyone out. Everyone should be fully behind, even if we're 13th in the league. We need to be keep moving in the forward direction. And we're not going to be 13th in the league.
I know.
Anyway.
I'm hopeful we're not. I'm pretty confident we're not. I'm just saying, in some, let's say there is a.
You're just trying to predict carnage here.
I know what football fans are like. I know how social media is like. There will have to be a scapegoat if we are underperforming.
It'll be on the players and the manager. That's all it comes down to.
I'm not saying Levy and ENIC are a scapegoat because they're not at fault. I'm just saying, whenever we hear Rutch patch form, they're the ones who take the majority of the blame. Obviously, Ange as well, and last season, and other managers. Conte has as well. Conte out, Ange out, ENIC out, Levy out. Those are being big things when we're underperforming, right? Managers. I'm just saying, come January, in the next few months, if we are underperforming, I do find it interesting to see who's going to be the scapegoat.
It'll be on the playing staff and the manager. He's got a better squad than Ange had last season. It's all on the players and the manager now to take us forward into this season and have a successful season. That's what it's all on. You can't blame the ownership because Levy was running every facet of the club. He's gone now, so you can't blame Levy anymore. Well, you can blame Levy, but he's not here to
no point. There's no point saying Levy out because he's out. Yeah,
so he's out now. So all the question marks are all going to be. All the spotlight now is going to be on Thomas Frank and the playing staff.
Brad says, let's just blame Sim if it all goes wrong.
Yeah,
I'll take it. Hashtag Sim out. Hashtag Sim out. I'll take the brunt. If you need someone to let your frustrations out, hashtag Sim out if we start underperforming. As long as you leave Frank alone.
Yeah, but on the ownership now, it's time we put them back. I wouldn't say to square one, because they have been here for 25 years, but we need to see, and I think we go into it with our eyes open, because we know what they're about, but we need to give them time now to imprint their ideas.
Yeah, I do wonder how long it'll be before we see the first ENIC out, Lewis out, Vini out. I don't know how much we'll see.
It'll be January the 5th. If we haven't brought in Cristiano Ronaldo by January the 5th, then that's it, ENIC out.
Oh, well, look, it's hard to know, obviously, what to think right now because, you can all make everyone can make their assumptions and their theories, but that's all there is at the moment, isn't it? Because it's all so new. Levy just left on Thursday. Like, we're still Monday, not even a week after Levy's left. So, I can sit here and say I still think they're looking to sell. Some people can say I believe what the Lewis family is saying, all these different things. They all come with their own theories. But it's just theories and speculation. There's nothing concrete right now, isn't it, about what's going to happen or what direction we're going to go in. So we'll just wait and see.
Exactly. So I think it's positive because I think it gives the fans, something that we can actually get behind now with Levy gone, and a lot of fans wanted that to happen for so many years. We've got a good manager in with a good coaching staff behind him. We've got what the club have put out there, investment from the Lewis family. And we've got some really good signings in this summer transfer window. So I think things are looking positive for Spurs, and it's time for fans to come together as one and fully back the team throughout the season.
Yeah, and if anything, just stopping that whole conversation of Levy in, Levy out.
Yeah.
It just got to a point I just didn't want to listen to it anymore. I understand both sides of the argument. I understand.
I think it got to that point for you about 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's just so I just can't be bothered. Like, it's such an uninteresting topic conversation. I understand why it's had or needed having, but it was just going on for so long, so many years, and it's like it needed to come to an end. I'm just happy we're at the end of it now.
Yeah, and I think it's time that we can fully focus on the actual football instead of politics. Mm-hmm. That's the main thing, is it? Like, we became a fan base that was just too embroiled in the politics of the football club, and it was just so frustrating at times because, we're in football because we love football. You're not in football because you like the politics of football and the political side of everything. And I think it's a really good time just to focus back on the football, where you don't have to mention politics for the next God knows how long.
Yeah, next few months at the very least.
Yeah. So, that is the Vini statement through the club, and that is the news and the statement on the website as well. So make of that what you will. It's really interesting. I want to know your comments about it. What are your thoughts around ENIC and Vini in the comment section below? But we're going to finish off on a international roundup. And let me just connect my phone, and we'll go through the stats of all our players on international duty as of yet. There is still a few more days left of the international break. And we're going to start off talking about Ghana. As Ghana drew 1-1 with Chad, with Mohamed Kudus obviously playing in the game. So Mohamed Kudus played 86 minutes at right wing, which I thought was quite interesting because he usually plays number 10 for Ghana, but he played on the right wing for this game. Lasted 86 minutes. He got an assist in the 17th minute of the game, and it was really good assist from the right wing. And if we bring on social media, I've got a link to the assist as well.
There you go. Yeah, that's Kudus. Right, so
Burns' his defender, gets
basically very similar to ones he was doing against Burnley.
Yeah.
Gets to the bar. He's very good at that because obviously everyone knows he likes to go on his left. So a lot of defenders that can't stop him getting on his right because they have to stop him cutting inside, don't they? They find it very hard. So he's got a decent right foot. I would say he still needs a bit of improvement, but he's capable of that, isn't he? We've seen that already.
If you scroll up, Antoine Semenyo was in training with him, and he's like,
my boy.
We had a great 1-0 win. Let me go see how Mohamed Kudus is feeling about it. So he gets his camera in training. He goes all the way to find Mohamed Kudus, who was sitting on the bench there trying to protect himself from the sun, trying to relax away from the 1-0 loss that we had on the weekend. And there's Semenyo.
We'll be back.
There you go.
1-0.
Oh, man. Yeah, he done him. He done him on that one. It wasn't a great day for Kudus or for Tottenham, that's for sure.
Yeah. Next up, Wales beat Kazakhstan by 1-0. Brennan Johnson playing 65 minutes at right wing, and Ben Davies at left back, captaining the side. So Brennan Johnson didn't look like he had a great game by any stretch of the imagination. If you look at those stats, it's just zeros everywhere. One shot.
Where was he playing up front?
Right wing.
Right wing.
Yeah, literally nothing in that Brennan Johnson performance. Ben Davies, on the other hand, looked like he had a pretty decent display at left back. Fairly decent long balls, 3 clearances, 1 interception, 1 tackle. So Ben Davies, yeah, a decent display. Moving on to Spain, Pedro Porro started twice for Spain over the course of the 2 games. A 3-0 win against Bulgaria, 62 minutes in the first game, and a 6-0 win against Turkey as well. So Pedro Porro really...
2 clean sheets.
Yeah, he's actually... like signed, sealed, delivered, the first right winger at Spain now, even with Dani Carvajal still there.
Yeah, he's the younger player, isn't he? And he's the one who should be starting. We were very shocked, weren't we? He didn't get that spot in the Euros. Obviously, he gave it to Navas and Carvajal, but I'll be shocked if he ain't in the squad for the World Cup. He'll be there starting right back, I reckon, for the World Cup.
Yeah. No goal contributions, but he got quite a good rating for both games. So I think 2 decent displays from Pedro Porro for Spain.
And carries on his good form for Tottenham as well, so that's good news.
Yeah.
Apart from obviously the Bournemouth game. Less said about that, better.
In terms of Netherlands, they drew 1-1 with Poland in their first game, and they beat Lithuania 3-2 in the second game. The first game, Javi Simons started and played 80 minutes at right wing. Mickey van der Ven played 90 minutes at left back. In the second game, Javi Simons didn't play at all, rested for the game, and van der Ven came on for the last half an hour for Nathan Ake at left back as well.
It's interesting that for the Netherlands, Van der Ven is consistently preferred at left back rather than centre back.
They got.
I know they got good
centre-backs,
options: De
don't they?
Vrij, Van Dijk, De Ligt as well. But still, Van der Ven's best position is definitely a centre back. So
At left centre back, though, they play Virgil van Dijk, who's their captain.
just imagine him and Van Dijk together.
I know.
It'd be unstoppable.
And they got Van Hecker, who played at right
Van
centre
Hecker.
back.
Yeah, I guess. Look, if you've got that much quality, if you don't have great left backs, I guess it makes sense.
But I know you watched the game.
I did.
Anything to report on Javi?
Obviously, he didn't play the second game. So the first game, he played right wing, and it was difficult for him to get involved in the game, to be honest. Had a few nice touches, but clearly he's not his position, playing on the right. Was kept having to tuck inside where he's more comfortable, trying to pick up the ball, trying to link centrally. Didn't actually have too much of the ball out wide on the right where you want him to potentially. Wasn't a great performance, I'm not gonna lie. If I was obviously watching it, hoping to be excited about our new signing, and it was just being played out of position. He looked a bit out of sorts. I put it down to more his position than him, but it wasn't a great display. He was a bit out of the game.
Mickey, look at that heat back from Mickey, like more a left midfielder than a left back. But we know what Mickey offers from left back: marauding runs forward, physicality, and I think he showed that in this game.
Yeah, it wasn't great watching him run up and down that wing, overexerting himself. I was like, calm down, mate. You just don't need to overexert those hamstrings. But it seems to have been all right.
Yeah, and this was his heat map when coming on for the last half an hour. So again, at left back, as you can see. So that was Mickey van der Ven and Javi Simons. Uruguay played Peru. They won 3-0. Bentancur back in the starting lineup for Uruguay at the heart of midfield in the 6 and playing 90 minutes as well.
Which is great. I know he's such an important player for Uruguay, and he's done a great job for them. So hopefully, it sounds like he's continuing his good form, which I think, start of the season, he's been pretty good. And I think carrying on for Uruguay, I know, what's his name, Bielsa is their manager. He loves him. He's a big fan of his. So, yeah, it seems as though he's carrying on that good form.
Look at that heat map for Bentancur, literally everywhere in the central areas of the pitch.
9 out of 13 ground duels.
Yeah,
there you
looked
go.
like he was an all-action display from Bentancur. 9
4
out of
key
13,
passes.
4 out of 3 aerial duels. Drew 2 fouls as well, and 4 key passes on the day. It looked like he had an outstanding
2
display.
out of 2 dribbles. Sounds like he
They
had a great
rated
game.
him 7.9 on SofaScore.
That's good. It's a very good score.
Yeah. The next game was Argentina 3, Venezuela 0. Romero playing 90 minutes, and this was a significant game because it was Messi's last performance or last game in Argentina. Which, next time they play in Argentina, Romero could very well be the captain of Argentina. Look at that heat map from Cuti Romero as well. That's what you expect from it. If Cuti Romero, if that was a heat map of anyone and you didn't see the name, you'd probably say that was Cuti Romero. Very aggressive, red everywhere on that right-hand defensive side of the pitch. He did pick up a yellow card, so that means he's suspended for the next game. So he's already back at Hotspur Way, which is great news, to be honest.
Yeah, it's good, and seems like another great game. Obviously, he plays so well for Argentina consistently. Yeah, look, I think if I'm Messi, I think he's still got enough in the tank to make it to the World Cup, but he said he hasn't made a decision yet.
I think Messi will play the World Cup.
You reckon he will?
I just think this was his last home game.
I know, I'm just saying he hasn't made a decision. I really hope he makes it.
There.
Yeah, I think he should be there. Although, ending your last World Cup and winning it, that's a good way to go out. But I think he's got
win it again.
They could. I think he's got enough in the tank, and I think they're still playing so well. Top of the qualifying. But yeah, very good news for us that Romero's back, and he sounds like he went out on a great display, and he'll be available for West Ham, which is great.
Next game was Brazil 3, Chile 0. Richarlison came off the bench for the last 10 minutes, and the game was done by then. So. Good to see him get back on the pitch for Brazil and under Ancelotti. The next one was Senegal 2, Sudan 0. Pape Mathis Tell playing 73 minutes in the game and scoring as well. A brilliant goal from Pape. If we bring that up, look at Pape's goal. I thought this was it was like a striker's instincts. Look at this. He picks the ball up here, takes it past that defender and
Reminds me a
slots
bit
it
of like Dele Alli.
Yeah, 100%. And look, Pape carrying on his great goal-scoring form, or great form, should I say?
They never played together, did they, Pape and Dele?
No.
Great. I mean, it goes to show his instincts in the box improving. He took it with proper composure as well.
Yeah.
Ball out a great touch here, and then the composure to cut inside and just bury it on his left foot, right into the corner as well. Fantastic, and he's obviously continuing his great start to the season, as you say. So that's really, really great.
Yeah, I mean, the next ones we can just breeze through a little bit because Italy played 2 games, 2-0 win against Moldova, 5-0 against Estonia. Vicario hasn't played a minute. Slovenia drew 2-2 with Sweden. Bergvall, unused sub. Paulinho played the last 10 minutes in Portugal's 5-0 romp of Armenia. England beat Andorra 2-0. Spence was an unused sub. And regarding that, bloody hell, Tuchel.
Oh my God, I can't stand watching England at the moment.
Like literally, I didn't watch this game, but I saw it 1-0. It was 1-0 from an own goal from Andorra. We're talking about Andorra over here.
I know.
Like, we should be 10-0 up in this game, seriously, with the level of what we have and the level that they have. And Tuchel, every game I've seen that he's managed has been utter dross. Seriously.
I don't know
Bring
why
Southgate back now.
How's he starting players like Rashford, who are not barely playing for Barca? Like, surely got better players to play off the left arm. Maybe it's Andorra, you want to try new things. Why is he playing people like Eze? Ugh, get Eze out of that team. He don't need to play
Eze
people like
put a
Eze.
stinker, I heard.
Yeah, he did. A generational stinker and hooked.
And why can't Spence get even a minute against Andorra as well?
Yeah, he should be starting that game. He started Skelly, I think, left back. Right back was Reece James. Elliot Anderson making his debut and
I like Elliot
played
Anderson.
Played very well.
Yeah. But the last one is Kevin Danso, who started on the bench for Austria in a 2-0 win against Cyprus, came on for the last 20 minutes for David Alaba. And that's how our players have performed over international break. A few more games still left to go. I think tonight's game's Tuesday night and I think Wednesday morning for the South Americans. So hopefully everyone's unscathed so far, and let's hope it stays that way.
Harry says Archie Gray's playing right now
Oh,
for the under-21s.
so we'll give you an update on that next time we do the international roundup on Wednesday. But that is how we played over international break. We've got one more super chat. It says big up Coys. So big up to you. Thank you very much for the super chat. Much
Come on.
love to you, my friend. And I think that is all we have for you guys today. So Spurs are not for sale. Spurs are going into a new generation, a Levy-less generation. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section below. But thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.